This prayer will remove every spiritual block in your life. Some of the battles you are facing right now didn't begin with a loud attack or a visible enemy. They began in silence. They formed in the moments when your heart grew tired, when your thoughts grew heavy, and when your spirit started carrying weights that were never meant for you. Spiritual blocks rarely appear as something dramatic. They show up quietly, like a slow fog that settles over your mind and dims your vision until you no longer see your own path clearly. There are people listening to this right now who feel stuck but cannot explain why. You pray, yet something feels resistant. You try to move forward, yet something inside you feels restrained. You speak faith with your mouth, but your heart feels tangled in something you cannot name. These are the invisible barriers that form around a person's spirit, and if they are not broken, they begin shaping the direction of an entire life. There is a reason this message reached you today. Nothing in the spiritual realm is accidental. When a block stands between you and the purpose God prepared, He will often send a word, a warning, or a moment like this to confront the barrier head-on. Many people spend years fighting symptoms without ever confronting the root. They battle discouragement without seeing the fear beneath it. They wrestle with delays without understanding the spiritual heaviness surrounding their decisions. They feel far from God without realizing something has been standing in the way of their connection. You may have asked yourself more than once why your peace comes and goes, why clarity fades and returns, why your spirit feels strong one moment and tired the next. These shifts are not random. They are signals. They are spiritual indicators that something has tried to settle in the places where the presence of God should dwell freely. And if these blocks are not exposed, they begin shaping the boundaries of your future. But hear this with your whole heart. Nothing that has been holding you back is stronger than the God who is calling you forward. When you surrender your spirit, when you lay down your heaviness, when you allow the presence of God to confront what you have carried internally, every chain loses its strength. What once felt impossible becomes movable. What once felt permanent becomes temporary. What once felt spiritual suffocation becomes divine release. This message will guide you into that release, not by stirring emotion, but by leading your spirit into truth. You will not be pushed into freedom. You will be invited into it. And by the time this prayer is spoken, the weight that has followed you, the resistance that has surrounded you, and the fog that has clouded you will no longer have permission to remain. It begins in the smallest moments. Not with a crisis, not with a failure, not with an attack you can point to, but with subtle shifts inside your heart that seem too quiet to matter. Spiritual blocks rarely announce themselves. They grow in the spaces where your attention is thin and your spirit is weary. A thought you dismiss, a wound you ignore, a disappointment you bury, a fear you refuse to confront. One by one, these experiences settle into the corners of your inner life until they begin shaping the atmosphere of your spirit. Some of the walls around you were not built by the enemy. They were built by silence, by exhaustion, by long seasons where you kept pushing forward without stopping to notice what was happening inside your soul. You kept functioning, but you stopped flowing. You kept believing, but you stopped expecting. You kept praying, but not with the same fire you once carried. These changes felt harmless at first, almost unnoticeable, but each of them carried weight. Every time you told yourself, "I'm fine," when you were breaking. Every time you suppressed a feeling instead of healing it. Every time you absorbed someone's words and stored them as truth. Every time you convinced yourself to adapt to an environment that was shrinking your spirit. These small compromises became bricks. And without realizing it, you allowed walls to rise around your heart layer by layer. These walls affect how you hear God. They affect how you respond to opportunities. They affect your ability to receive clarity, guidance, and peace. Spiritual blocks form when your spirit becomes overloaded by things you were never created to carry alone. They form when disappointment sits too long without release, They form when insecurity is allowed to speak unchecked. They form when silence replaces surrender. But here is the truth most people never recognize. A spiritual block is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of burden. It means you have carried too much for too long. It means you survived seasons that demanded more from you than you had to give. It means your spirit has been protecting you the best way it knows how, even when your heart was overwhelmed. God is not angry at your walls. He is not disappointed in your tiredness. He is not surprised by the heaviness you've been carrying in secret. He sees exactly when the block was formed, why it formed, and how it began shaping your inner world. The moment you recognize the weight you've been living under, He begins to dismantle it with gentleness, not force. And that is why this first step matters. You cannot break a barrier you refuse to see. You cannot release a weight you never acknowledge. But the moment you identify the silent walls in your life, you take authority over them. This awareness becomes the beginning of spiritual freedom. There are moments in life when your spirit tries to speak louder than your habits, louder than your fears, louder than the noise around you. It starts with something subtle, almost easy to ignore. A restlessness that doesn't come from anxiety, but from misalignment. A quiet awareness that something inside you is shifting, reaching for a direction different from where your feet are currently standing. That is the Holy Spirit beginning to adjust your inner compass. This adjustment doesn't arrive through thunder, pressure, or signs written across the sky. It appears in the soft moments you almost dismiss. The things that once energized you begin to lose their spark. The conversations you used to tolerate become heavy. The routines that once felt normal now feel like chains. You sense that your spirit is leaning towards something beyond your current reality, but your mind resists because it fears uncertainty. God uses this tension to guide you. When your inner compass turns, it's not confusion, it's invitation. It's the gentle nudge of heaven saying, "This direction no longer reflects who you are becoming." Spiritual blocks distort that internal direction, making you doubt the clarity God gives. But when He begins to correct it, conviction grows stronger than fear. You start sensing a pull toward restoration, toward peace, toward a life that makes room for the person God is shaping within you. This inner turning is not random. It's alignment. It's preparation. It's heaven positioning you for release. And the moment you recognize this shift, you begin stepping out of spiritual stagnation and into divine direction. When a person stays spiritually blocked, something begins to drain from the inside long before life shows any visible signs. You start losing pieces of yourself without realizing that a silent exchange is taking place. Peace is traded for pressure. Clarity is traded for confusion. Confidence is traded for hesitation. Every time you remain in the same spiritual position you were meant to outgrow, a part of your strength is quietly handed over to the very thing that is holding you back. This isn't punishment. It's a spiritual law. When you stop moving, something else fills the space you refuse to occupy. Fear steps in. Doubt steps in. Weariness steps in. The enemy never needs to destroy a person who is spiritually blocked. He just needs them to stay still long enough for their inner fire to shrink. And many don't even notice this exchange happening because it is subtle. It happens in the moments when you start tolerating what once bothered you. When you call normal what once felt wrong. When you allow emotional heaviness to become part of your routine. The enemy doesn't need a dramatic moment to weaken someone. He only needs small agreements, quiet compromises, delayed obedience, postponed healing. But the most dangerous part of spiritual blockage isn't what you lose, it's what you never receive. Every block stands between you and something God already prepared. Not something theoretical, not symbolic, something real. A prayer that would have been answered. A door that was meant to open. A relationship that was supposed to move you forward. a season of peace you were destined to enter. When the block remains, these things stay on the other side of a barrier that was never meant to be there. This is why the Holy Spirit pushes you. This is why your spirit feels restless. This is why you sense that life is slowing down when you know it should be accelerating. God is not trying to frustrate you. He is trying to make you aware of what you're losing every day you remain stuck. Because every blocked moment costs you something, and heaven refuses to let you lose what was meant to bless your life. When God exposes what this blockage has been costing you, it isn't to shame you, it's to wake you up, to show you that there is more for your life than what you've settled for. To remind you that stagnation is not your identity, that spiritual heaviness is not your home, that delay is not your destiny. And now that you see the cost, you are ready for the breakthrough. When a spiritual block has taken root in your life, breaking it is not about repeating the right words. It is about aligning yourself with the voice that has been calling you forward all along. A true cleansing prayer doesn't come from desperation. It comes from recognition. Recognition that you were created for more than the heaviness you've carried. Recognition that the one who breathed life into you is also the one who can break whatever has chained you. This moment is an invitation to step into a different atmosphere, where your spirit becomes louder than your fear, and God's authority becomes clearer than the pressure that has been suffocating you. Close your mind to every distraction, because this prayer is not meant to sit on the surface. It is meant to reach the places where pain hid, where confusion settled, where old agreements formed. Let these words move through you with intention, because they were shaped to confront every barrier standing between you and what God has already prepared. Father, I stand before you with every burden exposed. I open the places I tried to hide, the thoughts that have weighed on me, the fears that built invisible walls around my spirit. I release the heaviness I've carried for too long. I surrender every block, every knot, every spiritual resistance that has taken residence in my life. I speak your authority over every chain that has gripped my mind, my emotions, my purpose, and my path. Break what I have been unable to break. Lift what I have been too tired to lift. Clear what has clouded my vision. Remove what has stood between me and the life you called me to live. Let every spirit of confusion lose its hold. Let every voice of doubt dissolve. Let every root of fear wither. Let every hidden agreement I made with insecurity be cut off. Let every cycle that has repeated itself without explanation be broken now by your power. Release my mind from the patterns that kept me small. Release my heart from the wounds that shaped my decisions. Release my future from anything that has tried to steal it. Fill every empty space with clarity, peace, and divine strength. I accept your cleansing, not as a moment, but as a turning point. I declare that nothing that once held me will continue to follow me. Let your spirit sweep through every corner of my life, restoring what was weakened and reviving what was lost. I step out of darkness and into your direction. I step out of limitation and into your purpose. I step out of spiritual stagnation and into the momentum you have ordained for me. As this prayer settles in my spirit, let every unseen barrier collapse. Let every doorway that belongs to me open. Let every blessing that was delayed be released. And let the path ahead become clear as I walk under your guidance and your grace. This is your moment of release. Something has shifted. Something has been lifted. And now your life is ready to move again. When a spiritual block lifts, it rarely leaves quietly. Something in the atmosphere around you changes, and something inside of you awakens. You begin to notice that the thoughts that once drained you no longer carry the same weight. The emotions that once paralyzed you begin losing their grip. Your spirit starts moving before your circumstances change, because breakthrough always starts within, What God removes spiritually will always manifest naturally, and this is where the rebirth of momentum begins. Life starts coming back into places that felt numb. Ideas that once seemed impossible begin to feel reachable again. Opportunities that were invisible start appearing in front of you with clarity. The heaviness in your chest loosens. The fog in your mind lifts. The confusion that made every step feel risky suddenly breaks open, and you can sense direction returning. This is not coincidence. This is the evidence that God's hand has removed something that was never meant to stay. Momentum returns first as a whisper, a small rise of energy, a quiet confidence, a renewed willingness to believe that something better is ahead. Then it grows into a pull, drawing you toward decisions you once avoided, relationships you once feared, and dreams you once buried. The block that held you still was never stronger than the purpose planted inside you. Now that the obstruction is gone, purpose rises with a force that is impossible to ignore. Your relationships shift as your spirit strengthens. People who drained you begin to fade. People who nourish you begin to appear. You find yourself drawn to environments that match who you are becoming, not who you were. Your prayers carry more authority. Your worship feels different. Your mind becomes sharper. Your reactions become calmer. You stop begging God to move because you can finally feel that He already has. Momentum also brings alignment. The right connections start forming. The right opportunities begin to find you. Decisions that were once confusing become clear. You begin stepping into rooms with a sense of belonging rather than uncertainty. You start recognizing that what once felt impossible was never about impossibility. It was about timing, readiness, and spiritual clarity. Now that the block is gone, everything in your life begins to shift to match what God already planned. This rebirth of momentum does not rush you. It steadies you. It roots you. It shapes a version of you that is stronger, clearer, and more grounded than before. You move forward, not because you're forcing life to happen, but because life is finally flowing again. And as you step into this new rhythm, something becomes unmistakably clear. Breakthrough was not the ending. It was the beginning of a new chapter that God has been preparing from the moment the block first formed. Your path is open now. Your spirit is free. Your momentum has returned. And the God who broke the barrier is the same God who walks with you into everything that comes next.